I can't remember that you've said anything about corporate greed being a cause of inflation, but several members of your political party have, and yet we have mainstream Democratic congressmen or economists reject the greed theory. Jason Furman called it a sideshow. Larry Summers said it was a diversionary. Benjamin Page said it was a red herring. And Catherine Rampel for the Washington Post referred to it as an inflation conspiracy theory. What is your opinion? Does corporate greed explain the broad-based price increases consumers are currently facing?
Well, I guess I see the bulk of inflation as reflecting demand and supply factors. And on the supply side, we've had huge supply chain issues due to the pandemic and shifts in the pattern of consumption away from services and toward goods. We've had enormous increases in food and energy prices, partly reflecting Russia's war on Ukraine.
I think
and those are, to me, the key
you're answering the question in a way that I'm glad you answered it, because I think that your answer rejects the corporate greed argument that we've been hearing. Next question, my concern with the current focus on so-called corporate greed is that it risks taking us down the failed roads of the 1970s, where we had price controls and windfall profit taxes. These policies led to rampant shortages, most notably gas lines around the block. Do you agree that neither price controls nor windfall profit tax are viable solutions to inflation and would have serious negative consequences?
Well, I do believe in a strong antitrust policy, and that's something that's been a priority of the Biden administration. Having active competition in markets, I think, is critical to innovation and to consumer well-being. And so enforcing a strong antitrust policy, I think, is important. But with respect to the broader inflationary trends, the Fed has to play a critical role. I think deficit reduction deserves a complementary role. And we've discussed earlier in this hearing ways in which Congress can bring down many of the costs, possibly not food and energy, but costs that are really burdening American households, whether it's prescription drugs, the lack of affordable housing.
I think I take your answer as, with all the reasons you've given, that you're not advocating or thinking that price controls or wind profits taxes would have anything to do with fighting inflation. I'm going to yield back my time because I got to go over and vote. I'll put questions in.
I'm going to go to